put up this question slide again. Parent just notified me that you can't access the chat to click on that. So here is the English URL if you have a question for us.
I will.
And that, yeah.
I will get that in the chat again.
It doesn't matter if you put
it won't work
because they can't get it.
Oh,
so they'll have to go to the link where they got this. If they want to just click on something, they can access that there. But I'll give you time to write that down in this question slide. So it's tinyurl.com/742 English. Okay. All right. So again, last week we had videos. Ninth grade, current ninth graders watched a video, current 10th graders, and current 11th graders that was specific for what is required for them to take the following year. And then those videos are available to you on our YouTube channel and on our tech website. So you can log in there, Tech and Apollo have those posted. So if you'd like to watch those videos, and I even encourage my students to watch it again because it's so packed with information. And so watching it a few times, it's very short, like 14 minutes. So very easy to watch and just to make sure you're not missing any of that important information.
Yeah, highly encourage you to look through those. They're very informative, should be able to make this as user-friendly as possible to have your student register for next year.
And any questions? Again, that's tinyurl.com/742 English. Rick, would you like to talk about step 4?
Totally. So the step 4 for our process, students actually received a paper registration form. This just happened on January 13th. So through advisory and along with all the information that the students are given, they get this form, and you can see that on the PowerPoint there on, okay, what are the classes that are available for me as I'm going into 10th grade, going into 11th grade, going into 12th grade. We tried to break it down to make it as again, user-friendly as possible for what are the choices, what do I have to take, what are my potential elective choices. And so after giving that to the students, we're hoping that within about a 2-week time, they'll be able to get that sorted out, talk about it at home. I'm sure they will confer with their friends as well, and then be able to bring it back when we actually have them do registration day, where we as counselors are helping them go into Skyward and actually register for their classes for the next school year.
So their job, everyone should have this form. Maybe if you have a junior, they kept it for 1 more week, but our 9th and 10th graders should have this form in their backpacks. So please ask them to review it with you. And they need to have this ready to go next week when we will meet with them.
And if for some reason, because we know that there has been a lot of absences the first 2 weeks coming back from break, and if for some reason your student wasn't in advisory when this is happening, please encourage them to come down to the guidance office at Tech or Apollo and get that information. The counselors will be more than happy to make sure they have that, and so that they're ready. And especially for those 9th graders that will be doing their registration next Tuesday, because they won't have advisory before that happens. So, and questions, again, I am doing my darndest. It keeps on making it so that and maybe I do have some questions, but it bounces me, it bounces me to the question form. Uh, Erin, are you able to access the questions at all?
Sure, let me take a peek here. We have, oh, we have a question. This is
Okay.
very exciting. For the most part, can we see, all we can see is faces. The presentation only flashes on the screen for a few seconds at a time. Will
Oh
these
my.
slides be sent to us? So, sorry about that. I'm going to go back to presentation mode. So you're telling me that you can't see this very well. So yes, if you go to the Tech website or the Apollo website, you can see this presentation will be loaded there under the guidance. Well, on ours, it's under the guidance and counseling page under course registration. Is that where it is for you, Rick? Or do you
Yes.
have it on your, okay. So
That's
under
where you'll be
guidance
able
and
to.
counseling, registration, and you should be able to find all of this. I apologize for our technical difficulties. Okay, so here are the dates, and we'll just read them since I know that it's not showing very well. So the dates for the registration process, Rick, do you want to talk about Apollo?
Yes, I do. So for Apollo, as we're coming up on next week, our current ninth graders will be registering for classes. Like I said before, the school counselors will be available. We'll be actually doing it through language arts classes on the 25th, Tuesday. And so when your student goes to language arts on Tuesday, they'll actually spend most of that class period registering for their classes. And if, depending on where they're at in the process, we're hoping that most students have their registration sheet filled out and are ready to go. It should take them, it'll be quick to be able to get that done. If students struggling with it and trying to still figure out, the school counselors will be there to be able to help them make some good decisions on what they need to be taking and how that's going to work for them for their future plans, and that'll be good. So, and then for our 10th graders, they will be registering next Thursday, a week from today, and they will also be doing it through their language arts class. So instead of language arts class that day, it will be registration, and we'll do the same thing that I just talked about for our current ninth graders. And then February 1st, that's when our Apollo juniors get to register for their senior year. So exciting. All kinds of opportunities await them as they get ready to be seniors. So that's how that's going to go. And we'll be doing that through their U.S. history classes. So U.S. history class that day on February 1st for juniors will actually be registration. How about you for tech?
And that's what I love about these days that we have, because I know that there's questions and there's always little things. And right now, the counselors are so busy. Only a handful of kids can actually get in for an appointment right now before registration. So there's a little bit of a panic, but make sure your student knows that they will have time with their counselor one-on-one on these registration days. So if there is some last minute, just clarifying questions, or navigating between a couple, they will get one-on-one time with their counselor. So at Tech, we will start with our freshmen, class of 2025. We will meet with them on Monday and Tuesday, and also in their Language Arts 9 classes. They should hear from their teacher what day we're going into Mergens on one, or not Mergens, Boker's on one day, Green on another. So those teachers will let them know that. Then we move to 10th grade, January 26th, 27th, and 28th. We will be going into world history classes. So students will see us on those days. And then the following week, we move into our juniors. So January 31st, February 1st, and February 2nd, we'll be working with our juniors, and that will be in their LA 11 classes. Make sure that they have their Chromebooks, make sure they have their registration form, because they will be putting it in the computer on that day.
And as always, of course, have their Chromebooks charged and ready to go.
Yeah, that helps too. All right, questions. I will just take a quick peek. I know I'm moving out of presentation mode. All right, no questions. So now looking at the resources, this is, we did not print a single hard copy of the course catalog, which makes me nervous because I love paper. But here's the deal. This course catalog is pretty awesome. Everything is clickable. It brings you to links and resources. So please encourage and please you look through this information so you can find descriptions. We have so many new courses this year. I'm even still learning about all of them. So take a minute, look through the course catalog and get an idea of what's available for next year. And after reading the description, you still aren't 100% sure. That's why we're here to help you with that. And then again, don't forget to check out our school website. So tech website, Apollo website, click on guidance and counseling, and you'll find the registration tab, which will have all this information. Questions, tinyurl.com/742 English. So here are the counselors at Apollo, and I'm going to assume that you cannot see this at all. So Rick, would you like to go through this slide and introduce, in case they're not sure who their child's counselor is?
Yes, please picture in your mind the counselors from Apollo. We do have 5 school counselors here at Apollo. Amanda Parker is our 9th grade counselor. So any of you that have 9th grade students, you go to her. She's your go-to for any questions that are going on as you're looking at registering your 9th grader to go into 10th grade. And you can get a hold of her through our website, email, her Gmail apps account, or you can give her a call here at Apollo 370-8814. And then we also have 4 other counselors, and we break up the rest of the students, 10th through 12th grade, by the alphabet. And so Gretchen Van Houen has all students whose last name begin with A through D. Jessica Gleaton has students whose last name begin with E through LE. Again, I'm Rick Larson, and I have students whose last name begin with LI through P. And then Tony Backus has the rest of the alphabet. She has Q through Z. And so if you have a 10th through 12th grader, then you will contact one of the 4 of us based on your last name. How about over at Tech, Erin? How are you splitting things up over there?
Very similarly, just different people. So we have Jenny Schad is our 9th grade counselor. She has all 9th graders, A through Z. And then I'm Erin Block again. I have 10th through 12th grade, A through CI are my students. Catherine Jesperson, 10th through 12th grade. She has CJ through L. No, I'm sorry, CJ through I. I can't even read my own slide. CJ through I. Phil Corbett has 10 through 12, J through N. And Chrissy Lane, 10 through 12, O through Z. So that is how we divide up at Tech. All right, so we are back to the question slide just to make sure, tinyurl.com/742 English. If you have any questions, go ahead and post. And Rick, should I take a peek again?
Yes, please do. I was just seeing if I could also peek.
I think you need to start posting questions so I have something to peek at. No questions yet.
Hey, I can actually access it now, and I'm seeing it.
You
can. We still have the 2 questions.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So just a reminder again, help your student be prepared for registration starting next Monday. Next week, it'll be 9th and 10th graders should be registering. And then the following week, our 11th graders will register with their counselor. It'll be during the school day. They'll be entering their classes into Skyward at that time. And then just as a reminder, I don't want anyone to forget about the resources and supports that we have. This is just some free tutoring in the St. Cloud area. If you want to access any tutoring in the community, aroundcloudtutors.org is a resource that's available Monday through Friday for one-on-one online support. So sometimes that's nice if your student's home and having a math question. It's usually math. That would be me at home alone at night. So aroundcloudtutors.org would be a good resource.
Well, there's got to be a few questions. And yes, get into that tinyurl.com/742English and get us those burning questions, because we want to be able to help. And if for some reason you just can't think of that question right now, you give us a call. We would love to be able to talk with you here at Tech and Apollo to make sure, whether it's through email or through phone call, we are here to be able to answer all those questions, because there's a lot of different things that just come along with making these choices that affect your child's schedule and what they're thinking about for their future.
Thank you so much, Richard and Aaron. Did any questions or any popping up in the spreadsheet?
Nope.
All right. Well, thanks to all of you for joining us. As Richard and Aaron said, you can give them a call anytime. You can email them, go to our website. We'll have this session recorded as well. There are a lot of links where you can access some of the materials as well. So you all have a wonderful evening. Again, my name is Brenda Tiber. If you have any questions, you can contact me as well. Have a great night.